Story 1. Mine started suddenly, loud, and never stopped. After my brain got used to it, I cannot be in a silent room or sleep without a sound machine. When it stresses me, I do meditation with music. It is not fun. Story 2. Make friends with it. If you live next to a busy railroad track, how do you cope? You first have to accept that there's nothing you can do about the noise. Second, you have to become accustomed to the noise and learn to ignore it. Third, make friends with it. Find something positive about it. Like, it's 2 a.m. because I hear that train. In my case, I made friends with it, saying I have a built-in sleep machine in my head. Dependable and no batteries required. It took me about 3 years to get to the point where it no longer affected my sleep. Story 3. I generally avoid complete silence. I got sudden tinnitus on a shooting range in the army without hearing protection. But if I need to drown it out, I found a technique that, for me at least, can quiet it for a few minutes, often long enough to fall asleep. It sounds really stupid. Place both hands so your palms cover your ears, with your fingers facing backward. Put your index fingers on top of your middle fingers and push down, letting them slip to make a drumming sound on your skull. If I do this for about 10 to 15 seconds, it goes away for a few minutes. Story 4. There is a fun site that has sound clips of the common tinnitus tones. You know it is a match when it cancels out your ringing. Mine is metal screeching. Turn the volume to low. To answer the question, white noise from fans helps a bit for sleeping. Otherwise, I keep podcasts or shows on in the background as much as I can. Forget 3M and their bad earplugs. Story 5. This does help. Tinnitus neuromodulator free tinnitus masker. Read the page and it explains it. Story 6. Last year I developed constant tinnitus. Its bilateral sound comes from the middle of my head and has no underlying health reasons for it, such as hearing loss, damage to the ear or nerves, sinus issues, tumors, rare diseases, and so on. It was concerning at first, but I met with a specialist, and here are a few things you need to know and believe. First, let your primary care doctor, audiologist, ear, nose, and throat specialist, or any other required specialist rule out the obvious things first. If it's just tinnitus with no known cause, then you know there is no serious medical issue, and that is a relief in itself. It isn't easy to appreciate given the tinnitus, but is a big part of acceptance. Don't have hope that it will go away. Assume this is your new normal. This helps to reduce the anxiety and focus on it. People try many ways to fix the issue, and none of it is medically proven to actually work, so constantly trying to find a fix really just keeps you focusing on the noise. Find your own coping strategies for times when it's an issue. For me, the real problem is trying to sleep. I am already an insomniac due to attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and now I hear a buzz. So I bought a sleep mask or exercise headband with Bluetooth earphones built in and play soundscapes from a phone app when I sleep, heavy rain falling on trees. The first 2 months were hard, but it slowly got better. Now, about 7 to 8 months into this, and I don't really notice the ringing unless it's super quiet or I focus on it. The tinnitus specialist I saw has tinnitus themselves and told us that we would eventually rarely hear it. I didn't believe that at first, but it really is true. Not trying to fix it and just accepting it plus time has resulted in a minimal effect on the quality of life. You're not alone and it's not debilitating. It just takes time and the right mentality, and it will fade into the background eventually. Lastly, it's easy to trigger it to annoying levels. If I am under a lot of stress, it's louder. If I drink more than 1 or 2 drinks, it's louder. If I go somewhere loud, a stadium game or concert, it's louder. I do my best to account for these situations, but I don't let it stop me and do my best to just not care. And it really helps. Best of luck, fellow tinnitus sufferer. Feel free to ask any questions. I am happy to help since I fully know the stress and annoyance of this when it's new to you. Story 7. I've had it for so long I don't really remember not having it. When I finally learned what tinnitus actually was, I was kind of surprised because it was just normal for me. I think I had some eardrum trauma when I was very young. I hated loud noises. I also have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, so throughout the day it kind of gets drowned out by my brain constantly zipping between hyperfocuses. But it's probably why I need to have some kind of sound going when I go to sleep. If it's too quiet, that persistent sound can become deafening. Since I've been thinking about it, it has been blaring through this whole comment. Story 8. It varies, but mostly you get used to it. Some tricks help, such as 1. Open your jaw and plug your ears with your thumbs. Shut your jaw and unplug your thumbs at the same time. Grab your earlobes and gently pull and knead them until warm. Let go and repeat a few times. Plug your nose, close your mouth, and exhale sharply so the air pushes out towards your ears. The tricks actually do reduce the ringing for me, and that feeling of control did wonders. Story 9. Very used to it, ignore it. Sometimes I want to go insane. I must sleep with the fan on. I don't remember what actual quiet is like. I've read that even if we lose our hearing, it will still be there. All the cures are nonsense because it's physical damage. Story 10. Not sure how loud others have it, but mine doesn't drown out my hearing, so my brain just tunes it out. I just equate it to the sound of being powered on, much like the high-pitched sound that older cathode ray tube televisions would make. Story 11. You get used to it and you don't notice anymore. It's scary and terrible at first, but it's honestly not that bad. I would rate mine a constant 7 out of 10. Loud noises like fireworks or headphones turned up above 80 can really hurt. But other than that, it's really not so bad, and it's just made me take care of my ears better. Story 12. The first few months, I was almost suicidal. Not only did I get sudden tinnitus, but also sound sensitivity. The television, music, and walking down a road were all too much, so I spent a good 3 to 4 months locked away in my flat alone and quiet. I got it during COVID-19 times while actually having COVID-19. A month later, they added hearing problems to the symptoms. Thankfully, I adjusted to everyday sounds by slowly introducing myself back into a normal routine with normal everyday sounds, and a few months later, the bad sensitivity faded away. But the biggest thing that helped me cope with the tinnitus was the sound of crickets. I searched online until I found the sound that seemed to drown my tinnitus out the most. I downloaded an audio copy, looped it to make a 10-hour version, and stored it in cloud storage so I have access anywhere. I used to play it on a Bluetooth speaker in my flat on low volume all day, and it was like I didn't have it anymore. I kind of forgot about it. Anyway, these days, life is back to normal, and I'm at work all day since the COVID-19 pandemic ended. I barely notice it. In fact, the only time I play the sounds of crickets now is at bedtime, and to be honest, I probably don't even need to. It's more of a habit now, and it relaxes me. I've trained my brain to see the cricket sounds as wind down time. Find a sound online that drowns it out, download it, and keep it accessible to you. Other than that, time truly is your friend. I thought my life was over, truly, but I'm back to living my normal life and as happy as I was before I got it. Story 13. For anyone this may apply to, if you grind your teeth in your sleep, that can cause it. Pay close attention to your jaw during the day. Keep it from tensing up. You could have made the grinding an unconscious habit while awake too. Take magnesium glycinate. Ask a doctor how much and see if it conflicts with any medications you have. Do your research. I take 400 milligrams before bed. Get a Botox shot in your masseter muscles. It will weaken them so the muscle strength that you've built up from grinding your teeth at night will stop applying pressure to the back of your ears, causing tinnitus. My tinnitus, high-pitched ringing, has gone down a lot from this. Hope it helps someone. Story 14. This method actually helps me. It's temporary relief, but it's better than nothing. I don't know if the finger snaps actually do anything, or if they just threw that in there for a gag. I think the relief is similar if I just do the palm press without snapping my fingers on my head like a goof. Story 15. I have mine thanks to a car accident years ago. I'm so used to it now, I worry what the silence would be like if it stopped. I do sleep with the television on now. I never did that before the accident. Story 16. Mine is extreme. It's been this way for a very long time. For me, it's a mental game. I can't do anything to stop it, so I have just learned to live with it. It's definitely made better by living in a noisy city and keeping busy, but that moment when my head hits the pillow is when I have to clear my mind and relax the most. I've adopted some tricks. I think about how happy I am that my day is done. How happy I am to finally get off my feet. How nice it is to have my bed and so on. Good thoughts. It's a brutal reality, not trying to sugarcoat it, but you can win the mental game with some effort. Story 17. You forget about it until you realize your hearing is poor and you focus intensely on what you can hear, and it's just a quiet yet noticeable ringing behind everything else. Usually, I only notice it when someone isn't speaking loudly enough or when I think about it. It is annoying at first, and if you're hearing impaired due to what feels like a blockage, it can drive you crazy. I made my inner ear bleed once by trying to use my finger to suction whatever the perceived blockage was. Very unwise in hindsight. The lesson of the story is to go to urgent care and get an irrigation done if you have that feeling, or see an ear, nose, and throat specialist. But don't try to fix ear issues on your own, and do not use cotton swabs inside your ear. Even if you don't insert it deeply, the cotton can come off and lodge with wax inside your canal. Story 18. Born hard of hearing here and had progressive hearing loss. 1 year my hearing suddenly dropped to near profound, and I had severe tinnitus as well. Worst 7 months of my life as I went from doctor to doctor. Couldn't sleep, focus, or even work. I started to hallucinate, thinking I heard something when I didn't. Eventually, I seriously contemplated self-harm to end it and was brought out of my state by someone who experienced the same severe tinnitus. I later opted for a cochlear implant and life improved. I still have mild tinnitus, but only when I'm tired, hungry, or have auditory fatigue. Best of luck to those who have it. It's no joke for some people. Story 19. I've had my tinnitus since I was about 10 years old, so it's been quite a while. The noise in my ears, a high-pitched whistling or hissing, has gotten louder and louder over the years. As a child, you get used to it very quickly, and it only annoys me from time to time. Incidentally, the cause was a middle ear infection in both ears. Story 20. I noticed mine getting worse a year ago and decided to make some adjustments. Less sugar, less inflammation-causing foods, and started sleeping with earplugs. Mine got better over 6 months, but not gone. Sinus congestion makes it way worse a lot. Story 21. I've had it my whole life, so I thought everyone had it. Plus, having some noise like music in the background is good to tune it out. Public places tune it out, and my car does too. Story 22. I don't notice until it's quiet, like at 1 in the morning. I thought I heard a noise, and the dogs start barking like crazy, so I try to listen hard, and all I hear is you. Now I'm fully awake, and I have to go downstairs and physically verify that no one entered the house. Story 23. I am used to it. My mom has hearing aids that help with her hearing somewhat by playing the same frequency backwards, similar to noise-canceling headphones, but they only cancel out specific frequencies. My hearing is so keen, though, that I can actually hear the frequency her hearing aids are playing if the room is quiet. It is pretty wild to hear someone else's tinnitus sounds. Story 24. I kind of just have to. I have a constant loud whooshing or whirring sound in my ears or head that I can always hear, but I can usually ignore it if I'm doing something. I have a headache daily, but if that headache gets worse or turns into a migraine, which happens often, then the tinnitus gets way louder and I can hear it over all sounds, and it's harder, almost impossible, to ignore. I just have to deal with it, though. Sometimes my hearing cuts out, and I get the stereotypical high-pitched screeching sound people associate with tinnitus, and that can last 2 to 30 seconds. I've had tests done, and there's nothing wrong, and I'm on medicine for my migraines and have tried a lot of different things to try to get the tinnitus to stop or get better. It gets a bit better with some things, worse with others. I just have to live with it and deal with it until either I find something that works or they find something wrong that can be fixed. I'm so used to it now, though, that the thought of absolute silence is a little scary. Story 25. I listened to very loud emo punk music via my iPod during the early years, before the warning, and attended many concerts again without any proper ear care. I have permanent ringing in my ears. I only notice it now when it's quiet or when people mention it. Even writing this, I hear it. Sometimes it makes me want to bang my head into the wall until oblivion. Most of the time, I don't hear it. Some nights I cry myself to sleep because it's unbearable. Then I just use white noise to sleep and I'm good. Story 26. You just live with it. During the day, you don't notice it anyway due to work or just doing stuff. Just the nights are brutal without another noise running. That's why, for 9 years now, I let a fan run every night. Story 27. I learned the trick online and use it often. You place the palms of both of your hands over your ears to cup them and make the room around you muted. Then, while keeping your ears cupped, point your fingers directly backward, and your middle fingers will fall into the space around your external occipital protuberance. Use your pointer finger to slide over your middle fingers by building up pressure trying to slide them. Your pointer fingers will make a thud sound. Do this repeatedly for about 30 seconds. Once done, the ringing stops. This really helps me at night when I'm trying to fall asleep. Even with a sound machine and box fan, when my head reaches the pillow, it amplifies terrifically. Give it a try and see if it helps you.